Yo, what's good? Yo, what's cracking? Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. It's your boy, The Definition. Tyrants Bane, Snapzilla Gorilla, whatever you want to call me. And I'm annoyed as shit. Give you guys a minute to get up in the building so we can get rolling into this talk. Get some boxing talk in because I love boxing and I don't like what's going on in the world of professional boxing today. So I want to discuss some things about it. All right. I am in Atlanta right now. I was supposed to get to my destination in 20 minutes, but this is Atlanta. And I'm on the bypass and it's dumb right now. So there's dumb traffic right now on the 285 in Atlanta. And it is what it is, yo. You know what I'm saying? I had to drive through Atlanta to get to the Airbnb that I'm staying at while I'm working out here, and it's part of the game. But like I said, I want to get into a little bit of boxing talk and just, discuss some issues I'm having with the state of boxing right now. It really sucks, man. It really sucks because, a lot of exciting fights could be made in the sport of boxing, but there is a lot of sabotage going on. There's a lot of bullshit, a lot of ducking, a lot of fear, and I really don't understand where this is coming from, right? And this is particularly coming from Tank Davis fans, all right? Gervonte Tank Davis fans. And I, for the life of me, don't understand because, you would think that you would believe in your fighters, your favorite fighter, so much that you wouldn't be afraid of him fighting anybody. You would say, let's get the best fights for this guy. Let's find the best competition for this guy and really test him and really put him out there and really just like make it exciting for everybody. Hey, when this guy fights everybody. This guy fights everybody, but that's not what's going on, right? What is going on right now in the world of boxing has very little to do with boxing. And one concern that I'm seeing across the board in regards to certain fighters making fights happen is the business of boxing. What this person made during the pay-per-view, what that person made in pay-per-view sales, all that type of shit that we really should not be concerning ourselves with as boxing enthusiasts, but we are, right? So, Gervonte Tank Davis is a great boxer, right? Great fighter. He's a great boxer puncher. You know what I'm saying? He can box and he can punch. Lots of devastating knockouts, over 90% KO ratio, and he's a very electrifying and exciting fighter. The issue is he hasn't fought the best of competition, right? There are still fights out there that could be made that can make his fights a lot more competitive and really test him as a boxer. But he's not really doing that. Well, he has a fight supposedly with Frank Martin at 135, but that's supposed to be in June or July, and there has been no official announcement of that fight. And if he fights Frank Martin this year, that would be the first real competition he's ever come across during his career, right? He's had opportunities to fight Lomachenko, Devin Haney, even Shakur Stevenson, a number of fighters that he could have tested himself against, but for whatever reason, it ain't happened, right? It ain't happened. And, Devin Haney is a great boxer, right? Not necessarily a puncher, not a KO artist, doesn't have a lot of knockouts, 30 fights, 15 KOs. It is what it is, right? But what he is a great boxer, a great boxing tactician, a great technical boxer, a boxer that you can see the growth in by each fight. Each fight, he gets better and better. He evolves as a fighter. He makes adjustments that greatly improve his game the more he fights. Devin Haney is an excellent boxer. Somebody that I feel like could give Gervonte Tank Davis a lot of problems in the ring. And in reality, this is a great matchup for Gervonte Tank Davis. It's a great matchup for Devin Haney. Especially now that he has fought Lomachenko, who gave him some problems, especially as an excellent southpaw. Lomachenko is an excellent boxer, right? Just, boxes circles around most of his competition. He's a southpaw, and he knows how to use that against orthodox opponents. Devin Haney learned a lot fighting Lomachenko. Gervonte Tank Davis is a southpaw. But after the Lomachenko fight, Devin Haney moved up to 140 and faced Regis Prograis, who is a southpaw. And what he learned from Lomachenko, he took in during his fight with Regis Prograis and put on a master class, right? The best defensive outing ever in boxing history, least amount of punches landed, setting records. And so he has perfected his game against southpaw boxers, I believe. And so that would be a great test for him if he fought Gervonte Tank Davis. Now, what's the problem? It's a no-brainer, right? Devin Haney and Tank Davis should face each other in the ring and fight. But why isn't this happening? What's up, bruh? Oh, what's up, Jay with open eyes? Okay. Oh, you got an entertainment channel. That's what's up. But why hasn't Gervonte Tank Davis and Devin Haney fought? Well, it's because of Gervonte Tank Davis fans. For whatever reason, they don't want Tank to fight Devin Haney. They fear a fight with Devin Haney because they feel like their favorite boxer is going to get embarrassed by Devin Haney. And all the momentum Tank Davis has is going to be swept away, right? And it's these fans that influence a lot of what goes on in boxing. And this is not well understood. It's understood by myself. Because I look at the landscape of boxing as a whole. I look at everything. And I see what's going on. I see what's going on. You have these boxing channels on YouTube that push certain narratives, right? And this influences fans who put these YouTube boxing channels on a pedestal, and they just believe and run with what these YouTubers say about the world of boxing and what should go on and what shouldn't happen. And the biggest narrative that's being pushed is that Devin Haney does not sell enough pay-per-views. He doesn't sell enough. He doesn't have enough gate sales at the venue. All this shit that doesn't really matter at the end of the day in regards to who should fight who, right? It's all about Devin Tank. It's all about Devin Haney's pay-per-view sales. Oh, well, he didn't sell no pay-per-views. This pay-per-view flopped. That one flopped. Look at his sales now. He's getting ready to fight Ryan Garcia. They're not selling out the stadium. All this bullshit. That really should not determine whether or not Devin and Tank should fight. It should have no bearing on that. Why? Because everyone Tank Davis has fought hasn't sold one pay-per-view, one, before fighting Tank. And guess what? They have sold 0 afterward. No one Tank has fought has going on to fight in a pay-per-view fight in their next fight. Ryan Garcia will be the first to headline a fight that's going to be on pay-per-view. And that's because he's fighting Gervonte Tank, Devin Haney. How do I know that? Well, before Devin Haney and after Tank, Ryan Garcia had a fight. He fought Oscar Duarte in Texas or some shit. And that shit was not on pay-per-view. The tickets were not sold out. And so that tells you right there. And even with, Rolly Romero has not gone on to fight on pay-per-view after Gervonte Tank Davis until his fight against Pitbull Cruz, who also fought Tank and did not fight on pay-per-view in his next fight. And they are only fighting on pay-per-view because they are PBC fighters who debuted on Amazon and co-headlined with Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora, who was supposed to be Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman had to pull out due to an injury. No one has ever fought on pay-per-view after Tank Davis that has fought Tank Davis on their own. And the only fighter that has fought Tank Davis that has gone on to headline a fight that was going to be on pay-per-view was Ryan Garcia. And it's because he is fighting Devin Haney. How's my battery not charging? Hold on, y'all. Anyway, my phone wasn't charging this whole goddamn time. Goddamn. Anyway. So, what's the deal with these pay-per-views? Why are we so concerned about that? It was never an issue before during with Tank Davis fights. No one has ever had to sell on pay-per-view before. So why are we having to do this now? Because, and it's not like Tank Davis is saying this. Tank Davis isn't saying, oh, well, Devin Haney doesn't have enough pay-per-views to fight me. And then and another reason is the weight. Oh, well, Devin Haney ran from 135 and now he's at 140 and he's too big for Tank. That bullshit excuse. When Tank has fought at 140, and it's not like he immediately left 140 after he fought and beat Mario Barrios. No. He waited. All right? He waited almost a year before he dropped that belt and went back to 135. Okay? So, at the end of the day, there is no reason Tank Davis and Devin Haney should not fight, right? If Tank doesn't want to move up to 140 to fight Devin, send, because Tank is the A side. If Tank wants to fight Devin at 140 or 135, send an offer. Say, hey, you'll come meet me at 135 or we ain't gonna fight. Send something. Because guess what? It's the fans saying that Tank is not going to go up to 140 to fight Devin. Not Tank himself. So if that's the case, and Tank doesn't want to fight Devin at 140 and wants to fight him at 135, hell, send that shit send a term sheet to Devin Haney, and then y'all negotiate and see where y'all can come to. He doesn't want to do that. You know, and it's really tiring having to argue against these talking points. because it shouldn't have to be done, right? You start going off into the weeds of all kind of other silly shit. Oh, well, you got to call Al Heyman, you got to do this, you got to do all these things that Devin has to do that no other fighter has ever had to do in the history of boxing to get a fight. Devin has to do that. And when you say things like this to these people who are Tank fans but really Devin Haney haters, you start sounding like what they are to Tank, a dick rider. When you have to come out and speak sense and logic to these people and they don't like it, you become what they are to Tank, to Devin Haney, which is a dick rider. And in their mind, that's what you are. So really, when you try to spread this logical knowledge, it really doesn't go anywhere, because all they see you as is their rival, because you like Devin Haney and they like Tank Davis, and it has to be just complete and utter, just like opposition to each other. When really, we should be talking about how we can make the fight happen. How can we convince Tank and Devin to fight each other? We can go at him on Twitter. We can say, hey, you need to fight. You know, this is as fans or as enthusiasts of the sport, which I am. I'm a boxing enthusiast. I'm not a fan of a fighter, right? I just want to see great fights because I love boxing. I love the sport of boxing. I love the sweet science. I don't care about what a boxer makes, how many pay-per-view sales, you know, how many tickets you sell at the stadium or at the arena. I don't care about any of that, right? I just want to see the fight. I want to see great fights because it excites me.
In 3.9 miles, take exit
Center lane block. What is this? Atlanta's the worst fucking city in the world, bro. I hate Atlanta. Anyway, so I just want to see the fight. And, you know, this brings me to certain boxing YouTubers. One that goes by the same name of Fannon, right? I'll talk about him for a moment. All he does is try to sabotage Devin Haney's career. Why? Because he don't like Devin Haney's dad, Bill Haney. And what he does is he talks about these numbers. He'll talk about, you know, just shit that don't really matter at the end of the day. He'll talk about every reason in the world Devin shouldn't get a fight with Tank, but won't talk about everyone else that has fought Tank that has not met the requirements they are pushing on Devin. And he'll try to convince you that Devin wants to be the A side and that everybody that is on Devin's side or wants to see the fight wants Tank to do some extraordinary shit, go out of his way to do something for Devin to make a fight with Devin, when that's not the fucking case, right? Tank is the A side, right? Everybody knows if you're the A side, right? Anybody that has any boxing acumen, right? Anybody that knows anything knows that the A side dictates terms, right? The A side dictates terms. You send those terms to the motherfucker you want to fight, you start negotiating. If you're not the A side, you can go ahead, you can dictate some terms and send the shit to the other guy. There's no problem. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, nothing moves unless the A side motherfucker makes it move, right? Because guess what? You are going to benefit, and this is reality. Devin will benefit from a fight with Tank more than Tank would benefit from a fight with Devin. That's what makes him the A side, right? And that's why Tank has to be the one to let a nigga know what he wants to make the fight happen. This is what I want. This is what I expect. Rehydration clause. You got to meet me down here. You got to, you know, you got to dress up like a woman for 2 years. Whatever the fuck Tank wants. Just tell a motherfucker what you want. And why? Why are we so dead set on that? Because Tank said that he wants to fight Devin. Tank said it. But when you talk to people like Fannon, and because I called into the show, you know, and I asked him if Tank wants to fight Devin. Oh, I'm not in his head. Oh, I don't know. But did you heard Tank say that he wanted to fight Devin, right? Yeah, but blah, blah, blah. Well, then what are we talking about? So we're not going to hold Tank at his word. But everyone else in the world of boxing has to be held to a standard when they say shit. But when Tank says shit, no, there is no holding to that. No. Tank don't have to do nothing but say. He don't have to say anything. He can say what he wants. And no one can question it. Right? He's not held to it. Even if he's a fucking lying. Oh, he's just trolling. When Tank lies, it's trolling. When someone else lies, let me not do that. When Bill Haney supposedly lies, he's a liar. But when Tank lies, he's trolling. And this applies to people like Fannon, who I had much respect for this dude before all this shit started coming up. But he is clearly a Devin Haney hater. No, I don't care if he says, oh, it's about Bill and Devin's a good guy. No, fuck all that. Because you're one of these people out here trying to sabotage Devin's career because you are spewing all this bullshit and making fights happen be about what they're not, which is pay-per-view sales. That's not how fights are made. Fights are not made, or the fight negotiations aren't started by pay-per-view sales. No, that's how you negotiate once you come to the table. You use that to determine who's really the A side, who gets what split. That's when you start bringing that shit up. Like, okay, I had this many pay-per-view sales, you had that many. So I should get the bigger split because I cover a bigger market. I'm going to bring more fans, blah, blah, blah. I should get the bigger split because I put in more. That's when you start talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And you could talk about it, you know, as a boxing YouTuber. It's fine. But to tell people, oh, well, Devin doesn't deserve a fight because of this, or, you know, and he knows what he's doing when he said, oh, Devin's acting like the A side, like he gonna dictate this, that, the third. Y'all trying to tell Tank what he supposed to do. No, motherfucker, we just want to know. If you want to fight Dev, like what you waiting on? What do you want? We just want Tank to tell us what the fuck he wants to fight Devin. But people like Fannon will act like, oh no, you're trying to make Tank do something that he don't want. Man, fuck out of here with that shit. Does he want to fight or not? And when you ask these people, do they want to fight or not? Do you want to see the fight? When you ask them that straight up, none of this other shit matters about pay-per-view sales, gate numbers, because guess what? We already know it doesn't matter who Tank fights. Tank is going to sell regardless. Tank is going to bring asses to the seats. He is going to bring pay-per-view numbers. So it doesn't matter what Devin brings. That's why Devin is going to get the smaller split. Tank is going to get the favorable split because he's bringing ass to the seats. Hold on, guys. I got to pause for a second. Bad, y'all. Anyway. 40 was good. Haney is funny style. He was in the mix with Diddy. Okay. So was Tank. See, this is the type of shit that I'm talking about. What does that have to do with him fighting Tank? Tank was in the mix with Diddy. Tank got a big ass hug from Diddy. Got picked up off the ground like a little bitch. But what does that have to do with fighting? See, this is that bullshit. See, this is one of the narratives that are being pushed when you try to talk about Tank and Devin fighting. Like, no one can. So what? I mean, so what? Diddy was in a pool with Devin Haney. Diddy has been a lot of places with a lot of different people. So what? 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 And that's the utter nonsense. Devin is funny style because he was in a pool with Diddy in the picture when Tank got picked up off the ground by motherfucking Diddy. He got hugged the shit out of by Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real about this shit. OJ was found innocent and people still hating. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. That's how shit works, man. People still hating because they wanted OJ to be found guilty. That's all right, you know. It is what it is. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit, and that's what happened, right? But the bottom line is, there's no reason Tank and Devin shouldn't be fighting. Diddy, pay-per-view sales, gate numbers, Tank and Devin got tattoos, hairstyles, beards, like all this bullshit that don't even really matter, right? And these are, and then this is one crazy thing Fannon said. Fannon, I said that Tank is the A side, and that's why people are expecting him to initiate terms and get shit popping, because they both said they want to fight. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie Hearn, approached Tank to make the fight happen. But anyway, Fannon doesn't believe in A sides. There's no such thing. Oh, that A side shit is bullshit. He is the only person in boxing that says A side ain't nothing. Ain't no such thing as A side. But then proceeds to tell me that Devin is fighting the B side to Tank's B side. How are you saying this? See, that's another narrative. Devin is the B side to Tank's B side, which is Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia got the favorable split in their fight. Well, no, Devin is the A side. He just, conceded a higher split to Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia has way more pay-per-view sales because of his fight with Tank. He brought more money he brought more, 1.2 million pay-per-view sales. Apparently, obviously, there was something that going on in that negotiating room that convinced Devin and his team that, hey, yeah, you deserve a favorable split, and I just want to make this fight happen. But Devin is the A side to everything else. Ryan Garcia is just getting more money. But that's beside the point. So you're saying Ryan Garcia is the B side to Tank, and Devin Haney is the B side to Ryan Garcia. So what? Tank shouldn't fight Devin Haney because Devin Haney is the B side to Ryan Garcia. Like it's bullshit. If you don't believe in the A side, you shouldn't be pushing that. You shouldn't be talking about who's the B side to A side to the B side of your mama. No, nigga, fuck all that. Fuck all that. You don't want the young brother Devin Haney to shine in the sport of boxing. And the best way he's going to shine, the biggest way he's going to shine, is if he fights Tank Davis. If he fights Tank Davis. He doesn't even have to beat Tank. He just has to fight him. And that will propel his career. Even if he gets his ass whooped by Tank. Even if he gets knocked out by Tank. It's still going to propel his career. He'll be okay. Hell, even if he loses to Ryan Garcia. If Devin loses to Ryan Garcia, Haney, the career is not going to be over. But you'll hear all the haters say that. You'll hear them, oh, well, Devin needs to retire. They'll want Devin to hang up his fucking gloves. They'll want Devin to hang his gloves up. But, that's not how this shit works, man. The people are so concerned about keeping their zeros as opposed to fighting the best fights that it just makes boxing whack as fuck. Devin is not concerned about keeping a zero. He's concerned about fighting the best fights. He wants the best fights. You know what I'm saying? He wants to make the best fights happen. I think that Devin is going to whoop the shit out of Ryan Garcia. Might not knock him out, but he might stop him. And if the goes distance, Devin is definitely going to outpoint him. You know what I'm saying? If you look at their history, their fight history, whether it be in the amateurs, sparring, whatever the case may be, Devin has shown great improvement each time they encounter each other, whereas Ryan Garcia has shown minute improvements, not really that much, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at his new training footage, yeah, he's trying to do catch and shoots and, you know, work on his footwork and all this other shit. But if you look at his sparring matches, Ryan Garcia's sparring matches, he goes back to the same shit he always does. When it comes to that, yeah, you can train on the mitts, you can train on the heavy bag, throwing in some good footwork in, all that other shit, demonstration shit that you've been practicing for hours and hours on a camera. But when you look at Ryan Garcia's recent sparring matches, he's doing the same shit he always does. Getting all up on the fighter, spamming that hook, and not using great footwork. Even in the mitt work that he did, where he's doing the catching and shooting, right? You can see as he's performing lateral movement, he's still crossing his fucking feet. Yeah, he's keeping his hands up, and he's trying to keep his chin down, but guess what? He's still crossing his feet when he's moving laterally. And that puts him out of position. He gets caught like that, he's gonna drop. Understand that. But when you see him sparring, doing old Ryan Garcia shit, he wants to try to come up in there, get that hook cracking, you know what I'm saying, maybe throw a good straight right hand, and relying on that left hook to get it popping. He did throw a good shot to one of his sparring partners with that right hand. You know, the guy dropped. But what's funny is the person that showed the video said that Ryan Garcia knocked him out. He didn't knock him out. He dropped him, and the dude got right back up. This is the type of shit that, oh my God, it's just absolutely asinine. I don't get it. So you think AJ? I don't know if OJ did it. I don't know. Haney can't finish a slice of pizza. All right, but he's undefeated, former undisputed champion, a champion in 2 belts, 2 weight classes, complete shutout against Regis Prograis, dropped his ass, took a good left hand from Regis Prograis, ate that shit, and destroyed him. Right, but he can't finish a slice of pizza. Okay. Now, Devin Haney has 15 knockouts. He don't have 2 or 3. He has 15 knockouts. I can see if you were talking about somebody like Clarissa Shields, who has like 3 knockouts in her career, right? She don't finish. But Devin has finished at least half of his fights, so you can't say he can't finish. And if he wants to, I think he can finish at 140 right now. As strong as he is at 140, I think he can finish. He could have finished Regis Prograis if he wanted to. But he stayed disciplined and just pitched the shutout, beat his ass. Beat his ass. He beat Lomachenko's ass. Cracked his rib, sent his ass to the hospital. So to me, that's pretty much finishing. When you send somebody to the hospital and you go home to take a shower, you finish that motherfucker. Yeah, you didn't knock him out, but you beat his ass, sent his ass to the hospital. To me, that's the finish. And see, that's how you know the difference between a casual and a boxing enthusiast. Casuals say shit like this guy said. He can't finish a slice of pizza. But he's won every fight he's been in. He's undefeated. He's undefeated. So those are finishes. Yeah, he finishes the fight as a win, with the win. And so, and that's people like Fannon. They take advantage of casuals, and you know, and this is the reality. If you want to do great numbers in the sport of boxing, right, you have to attract the casual. But if you degrade a great boxer like Devin Haney, because you say, and this is some other bullshit that Fannon said, oh, Devin has to start knocking people out. Like, this is that bullshit. No, he just had to continue to beat motherfuckers. He has to continue to win. And if you watch Devin Haney fight, especially his last 2 fights, he's put on dazzling performances. Yes, he didn't knock the motherfucker out, but just the boxing clinic he put on is exciting to watch as a real boxing enthusiast. And Fannon knows this, but he's pushing the narrative that Devin Haney has to knock people out in order to be great. That's who he's using against boxing enthusiasts who don't know shit, who gets bored when they see great boxing, because it's not all, oh, I knocked the motherfucker out in 3 minutes. No, I knocked him out in 30 seconds. And this is the problem that Tank Davis had and has right now, that Coach Calvin had talked about. Which is why he said he don't want to put Gervonte Tank Davis in the ring with somebody like a Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur, knows how to run and not get touched. And Coach Calvin said, why would he put his fighter in there against somebody like that he can't knock the fuck out? Because if Tank doesn't knock people out, he is not going to get the notoriety that he should. And that's why they don't want to fight Shakur. They want to be able to knock whoever they fight. They want to be able to knock them clean, the smooth the fuck out. Right? And it's because of people like Fannon pushing this narrative that you have to knock people out to be great. It's boxing. Boxing is about more than just punching people upside the head. No, it's about setting traps, finding angles, getting in those triangles that I told you all about. The triangles the triangles in the armor, the triangles in the defense, where you can touch somebody. Finding those triangles, exploiting them, getting angles, footwork, lateral movement, ring generalship, knowing where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more than just, oh, I'm gonna punch somebody. No. And when Gervonte Tank Davis had to box against Pitbull Cruz, and he completely outboxed him with one hand, by the way. Listen, Gervonte Tank Davis is a great fighter. He is great. But it is his fans that will keep him from being greater. But anyway, he fought Pitbull, and you had these people coming out thinking that Pitbull won because he didn't get knocked the fuck out. And it's because of people like Fannon that people think this way. You don't have to you just have to win. You have to win. That's what boxing is about. Boxing is about the art of hit and not get hit. Motherfucking Floyd Mayweather was correct on that. When they called him boring, he didn't give a fuck. He put on great performances. He won against great odds. 50-0. A lot of which were, boxing. Just him winning by points. But people like Fannon will tell you, oh, you can't be great. Like you got to knock. Devin Haney has to knock people out. Devin Haney has to knock people out. He is pushing that narrative, and he knows better. He is being intellectually dishonest, in my view. In reality. And before I close out, I'm going to talk about why Southpaw is bad for boxing. Because Southpaw he can't keep it boxing, right? He is also pushing these narratives, same narratives that Fannon is pushing, but in a more bombastic and flamboyant way. And he also throws in looks, what Gervonte Tank Davis looks like. Oh, Devin is trying to look like Tank, trying to be like Tank. Tank got a leg tattoo. Oh, Devin Haney went and got a leg tattoo. He trying to be like Tank, like all this bullshit. But he didn't say that Tank was about trying to be like Devin when Tank converted to Islam, did he? And guess what? Southpaw is a clown in general, like, you know, a straight clown, you know, inconsistent, you know, he flip-flops, you know, if something happened that he don't like, he just takes it too personal, you know. You can't get serious boxing commentary from him because but I will say though, when he covered that Regis Prograis fight with Devin Haney, he had to keep it real. You'll catch the Southpaw in real moments, like when he covered that Regis Prograis fight. But that didn't last long. He was back to talking about what Devin Haney looks like. Oh, he's uglier than his dad. All this silly shit. Trying to be like Tank. Posting pictures of these dudes, you know, in just weird pictures, like, you know, the top of Tank's head and all this, like, just, it's just kind of sad, really. You know what I'm saying? And he also likes to threaten people's kids and all this other shit. Like, he's just a clown all around. And you know, this shit is bad for boxing. Real shit. It's bad for boxing because now it's getting into, oh, if you are a Tank fan and you hate Devin, then you beefing with Devin Haney fans who you think are Devin Haney fans, but really what they are true boxing enthusiasts. And you had a disagreement with them, and now it's all about, oh, you a Devin fan, I'm a Tank fan, and we got to be on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one is really talking about fight analysis. No one's talking about how that matchup would look like if Devin fought Tank. No one's talking about the fight analysis of the Ryan and Devin fight coming up. No one's talking about a fight analysis again with Devin Tank Davis and Frank Martin. No one's talking about that. No one's talking about that. No one's looking at film, showing film. Oh, this is what I think this fighter can exploit. This is what he can exploit. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh, this is how Devin can win. This is how Ryan can win. This is how Tank can win. This is how, you know what I'm saying? They're not talking about that. They're talking about pay-per-view sales. They're talking about who's the face of boxing. Who gives a fuck? That's another thing with Fannon, right? Oh, Devin Haney's not the face of boxing because, you know, Tank Davis, it doesn't translate in pay-per-view sales and all this, that, and the third. Well, if it's about pay-per-view sales, BFTB is right. Jake Paul is the face of boxing, if you want to use that metric. But they don't want to do that. Well, he's not a real boxer. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is a professional boxer. He is a sanctioned professional boxer who puts on huge boxing events, and his fights are sanctioned. He's ranked. So what are you talking about? Jake Paul is the face of boxing by your metric. But they don't want to talk about that. And if you did that, present that to him, he'll just say, I don't believe in the face of boxing. I don't believe that term. But he'll argue up and down about why Devin is not the face of boxing. In my opinion, Devin Haney is the face of boxing because when you think about boxing, Devin Haney is who most people think about. Him, I say, is between him and Tank. There's multiple faces of boxing. There's Tank, there's Devin, there's and Canelo. Those are the three faces of boxing in my view. Yeah. And then maybe the fourth place you got, Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence Crawford. You know, I wouldn't say AJ. No, it's Tank, Devin. Maybe even Ryan Garcia, because Tank, Devin, Ryan Garcia, Canelo. You can make an argument for those four being the face of boxing, and Terrence Crawford. But no, who gives a fuck anyway? If Devin's not the face of boxing, should that stop him from getting a fight with Tank? Y'all call Canelo a duck, but Tank Davis does the same thing Canelo does. Tank's not a duck. Like, it's all just hypocrisy and bullshit. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. That's my stance. I'm about to get off this here live stream. I'm about to get up in the building. I'm about to be at the house. And yeah, get settled in and get everything all in the house and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for work tomorrow. But yeah, man, that's what I have to say about it. Y'all let me know in the comment section how you feel. I'm pretty sure much of the boxing community will not be seeing this live stream, but it's all good, you know. You know, it's just some shit I need to get off my chest, because it's very frustrating. As a boxing enthusiast, this is very frustrating, because it's not just Tank and Devin. It's a lot of these great fights that could happen that aren't happening because of bullshit ass reasons, right? Canelo and David Benavidez. That fight's not gonna happen simply because Canelo don't want to fight him. And you know, I have to respect him for that, because at least he's telling you. Tank Davis says he wants to fight Devin, but is not doing anything to make it happen. And people are like giving reasons why they feel Tank don't want to fight Devin, but Tank said he wanted to fight Devin, but we're not gonna hold him to his word because he's Tank Davis. Anyway, that's the bullshit y'all be on. Isaac Cruz versus Haney, yeah, that could be real. That could be a good fight. Like that'd be a great test for Devin too. I like that fight. He beats Ryan Garcia. Pitbull fights, who did he say he wanted to fight? T.O. or Subriel Matias. You know, Isaac unifies maybe with T.O. Subriel unifies with Haney, even though Subriel Matias is ducking Devin Haney right now. And most of these Devin Haney's are talking about that. So Devin can't win for losing. It is what it is, y'all. So that's what I got. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom and the great boxing fights. Peace.